Hello and welcome to the transcription explanation of the design on this bracelet. So it is a very long and skinny design, and I have the translation inside it there, which I know you can't see in the video, but this is the finished product that I made. And let's tap over to show the design. And this design says, "I knew you'd come through for me. You always do. Well, you said trust me, and you did." And I spaced it out using some gears to sort of fill in the space. And let's go ahead and read this design. So first thing I want to talk about is sentence structure. So we have the little gears. I knew you'd come through for me, and then a little gear space. You always do, and then a bigger space. Oop, let's zoom in a bit more. Do, period. And then well, comma, small gear space. You said, trust me, bigger gear space, and you did. And then it tapers off to the end. So let's go ahead and get through it letter by letter. So in the script, you read starting at the bottom and you go counterclockwise, like a time traveler going back in time. And that doesn't really matter for a single letter word like this one, but it does matter on a word like this one. So this word here, our first word, just has this one little vowel on it. Vowels are these smaller circles that don't have filled in dots, and this has a line radiating inwards towards the middle of our word circle. So that makes it an I. So this whole word is just the word I. And then this next word, starting at the bottom and going counterclockwise, we have a floating circle. So we're in the second row, and we're in the column with 2 dots. So 1, 2 dots on that floating circle. And then continuing around, we have a floating circle with 1 line. So they're in the same row, but the 2-dot column makes the first one a K, and then the 1-line column makes the second one an N. And then we have another vowel, and this one is centered inside of our letter stem. So that would be an E. And then our last letter is a shallow divot. So we're in the third row, and we're in the two-line column. So that would be a W. So this line ends here. And then this line doesn't end on that letter, so it doesn't count on this one, but they both end on this one, so they both count there. So K and E, W. So that's the word new. This word, we start at the bottom, we have a Y, and then our O is inside, so it's internal, and it is attached onto the consonant, so it's on that letter stem line. So Y-O, and then a U has a line going outwards, and then a D has 3 dots. So there's Yud. And then we have 2 dots, 3, 4 dots. Count up all the dots. 1, 2, 3, 4 dots on this C. And then an O, M with 3 lines, E, so come. And then we have TH on the line of our word circle. R with 3 dots, O inside, U with a line going outwards, G with 1 line, and 2 lines on the H. So through. F has these 2 thick lines plus the third one there, so that's the F. The O is inside the word circle, and the R has a shallow divot with 3 dots, so 4. And then this word me could look like the number 3, but if we have something that could both be a word and a number, you always assume it's a word unless context dictates otherwise. So this me, we have 1, 2, 3 lines on the M, and then the E is centered, so that's me, and then we have our period at the end of the sentence, and then a little bit of a gear little gap there. And here we have Y with 2 dots, O on that line of the word circle, and then on the line of the letter stem, not the word circle, because this is the word circle. And the U has a line going outwards, so that's the word U. A, L with 3 dots, W with 2 lines, A outside the word circle. This Y has these 2 dots here. Even though these 5 dots are kind of in a pattern, we can tell that there's 3 closer to that circle and 2 closer to that circle, so that's how we know which dots go where. And then the S has 1, 2, 3 lines. So that's always D with 3 dots, and then our O on that consonant stem, and then a period, so that's the word do, period. And then a big gear space, and then we have a W with 2 lines and E centered, and then 3 dots on this double L. It's a double letter because these 2 lines are the same thickness, and they're stacked on top of each other. So, well, comma, Y with 2 dots, O on that consonant stem, U line going outwards, S with 1, 2, 3 lines, A outside the word circle. This is not a shallow divot because it doesn't actually cut into the circle. This I has a line going inwards, and that's all that is. It's not a shallow divot, it is just the I line. This deep divot for the D has 3 dots, so said. And then a T is a shallow divot with no modifiers. R with 3 dots, U like going outwards, S with 3 lines, T with nothing, trust. Here's another me, done exactly the same way, 3 lines, and then the E centered, and then there's the period. A outside the word circle. This ND I did just by filling in the word circle to give it some sort of like punch, otherwise it felt kind of too small. And then 4 dots on that deep divot, so A and D. Y with 2 dots, O on that line, U outside the word circle. This deep divot has 3 dots, so that's a D, I line going inwards, and another D. And that is that. So yeah, that's that design. I hope you like it. Thanks. Bye.